All right, back here at Average Best Cornhole. Today we're talking about Buffalo bags, Buffalo boards. We got their Fallout X, we got the sauces and the Shadow, which are two of their more newer bags. I've seen these all over social media posted. People asking questions about these bags, which one's the best, which one should they buy, what's everybody out there liking, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, we're going to try to compare these bags amongst each other. The thing about it is, they're all three of them are carpet bags. It's a mid-range carpet with a fast side. So it's going to be a little bit hard to compare them. We're going to try to do our best to try to show you which bag you want.
So I want to talk about some of the designs, and it's Buffalo bags, right? So you get on their website, they have a ton of designs. So if you don't, like the one that you see, just keep scrolling. They got tons of availability on their website, and they're coming out with new ones all the time. And that's one thing I struggle personally with Buffalo bags, because I'll get the best looking design they got on the market, and 2 days later they got another one that I think's even better. So they're good at getting my money. But overall, I'm going to give them a 4 in my opinion. I think they have some of the highest quality prints.
I'm kind of going to give them a 3.5 bagger. They are definitely the top in the business. I don't know if I've seen the 4 bagger company yet, so Buffalo is up there, but I think 3.5 bags for their designs overall.
Availability, for each one of their lines, you're always going to be able to find a design or print available. Some of the newer designs may sell out quick, or if they come out with a new variation, and they get pretty hot pretty quick, so they may be out of stock, but for the most part the availability is pretty great with Buffalo. All right, now the cost of these Buffalo bags, they're on the higher end. You're paying well over $100 for a new set of these bags. You're getting quality for your price and stuff, but they're definitely on the higher end. So they're really on a 1 to 4 scale. They're they're below a 2. They're about a 1.5 to a 2.
I totally agree. I actually graded them 1.5 bagger. I mean, retail price of these bags is pretty high. There are some ways to save some money, and we're going to try to touch base on that a little bit later for you.
Buffalo, as you guys know, they're one of the industry leaders. You're getting high quality products. It's a company that you can trust. They have one of the best websites out there. I love going to their website looking for new bags and prints. It's so easy to navigate, and it functions like a website should. They got private groups on Facebook that you can join and get as much information, get help with them.
So as far as break-in methods on this, we use bag butter on all the bags. If you don't know, Buffalo has their own brand. It's called Buffalo Bag Butter. I highly suggest you pick up a bottle of that if you do order these bags. The fallouts, if for some reason, it's something about this herringbone on their bags. I think it's because they don't have a liner underneath it, but it's like the bag comes on a sheet of plywood. You definitely need a little bag butter for that. And then the shadows is the complete opposite. It's not the slow carpet side. It's the fast side on it. They do have a liner under here, and it's super stiff, so you need something like the bag butter to kind of soften it up for you. And a little bit of that butter, it goes a long way. The sauce, they really didn't need a break-in method on them. I mean, they were soft right out the gate, but we still use it on them anyways. So let's get right into the baggage. Speeds for these bags, Buffalo's website has the fallouts listed as a 5.5 on the slow side with a 9 on the fast side. The sauce are a 5 on the slow side with a 9 on the fast side. And then the shadows are going to be a 5 on the slow side, but have a 10 on the fast side. So that's a little difference in them. I don't know if I agree with that so much. I feel like the sauce and the shadow are a little bit faster than the Fallout X's, especially if you dirty up that herringbone carpet, get it all fuzzy. Like these two bags, the difference of them is that we've had these bags, these fallouts, a lot longer than we've had those ones. And actually, these fallouts made us fall in love with the bag all again, because these ones are so fuzzy and just so dirty from being played with on concrete and rocks and all that they are super slow. But then once you get a brand new set of bags, you really see how fast they are. So maybe the 5.5 is true for a brand new set, but you could definitely slow them down quite a bit.
Materials, they are each a little bit different. The Fallout X's here, they're made with the herringbone, and they do have the deadhead fast side. The sauces are like a Viper R type variant, and then the Shadows, another hybrid type. It's similar to the sauce, but it's a little softer, and it's actually a little bit faster too. So there is, even though they look similar, there's a big difference between the sauce and the Shadows.
And the sauce shares the same deadhead fast side as the Fallout too. So I mean, those two bags are a little bit more similar. The Shadow is kind of like the outlier.
Yeah, and they're all medium template. They're all about the same size. They're not a large template. The Shadow is, after fully breaking in, the Shadow is going to be the little stiffer out of the 3 options there. That's just due to the liner, the extra liner that's in there, but you really feel it when you play. I don't think it affects too much, but hand feel sometimes is a difference maker for you. The fall and the sauce are a little bit more on the floppy side compared to the shadow. I think the sauce is, for me at least, I think these might be the most broken inset other than these fallouts. They feel the most floppy to me, but it's not a huge difference between the fallout and the sauce.
Yeah, all the bags, I mean, they have the same bagmanship on it. Like we stated earlier, they're all Buffalo bags. They all have the same template. The closing seam on them, it's high and tight on all the bags. I really truly believe, I mean, they got a CNC sewer, so they probably have that dialed in. So you're not going to see much of a difference in the bagmanship, just like you're not going to see much of a difference in the template on the bags.
What's the fill on each one?
Well, it's all disc fill. Buffalo, up to this point, had their own, they had disc fill, complete disc fill on all their bags. Now, they just started releasing mixed filled bags.
So now for our slide up. For forgiveness, the sauce are going to be the most forgiveness. So if you're a more new player, somebody just getting into it, maybe that's why you're watching this video, trying to figure out what bags to order, the sauce is probably going to be for you. They're my personal favorite. I'm still just an average player. So out of these, the sauce is my favorite because of that forgiveness.
Now, the fallouts they're pretty forgiving too. They're not quite like the sauce. The sauce, it seems like, you get a little bit of a corner over that hole, it's going to fall in there. The fallouts, it's because they're so fast. If you get it around the hole, it's going to fall in. The only outlier is the shadow, and it's got to be that liner under the fast side. I mean, because it seems stiffer. Now, if you can aim right and go right at that hole every time, I don't think it's going to cause a problem. But if you're off a little bit, the bag's not going to make up for that.
Yeah, for sure. The shadow, it's probably for the more precise player. If you're somebody that's throwing it and sometimes it kicks left, sometimes it kicks right because you're not landing flat every time, you're going to struggle with the shadow. All of them are pretty good in humidity. The Fallout X is probably going to be the best. It holds the most consistent speeds. The sauce isn't far behind it. I mean, I've played the sauce at our campground in the rain, and I was still able to slide him in the hole. It was a light rain, but it was raining. Fallouts can be manipulated a little more. As Craig mentioned earlier, especially if you're really in tune with your bag and you get that herringbone going, that's going to change the rate of the speed a lot. So if you got one that's real frizzed up, you broke it in real good, you didn't, shave the carpet fibers down and stuff, something that's going to slow down more.
I did hear that. I did hear that people are buying carpet shavers and actually scraping the bags to get all the fuzz off. So maybe that's a possibility.
But that's going to affect your speeds and the humidity, depending on how broken those bags in and how much that herringbone's worn in.
Fallouts are real good at blocking. The only thing I don't like about the shadows and the sauce, like compared to each other, is this since the sauce is so floppy, it seems like it's a little bit harder to block and then replace or block and collect. The shadows, though, if you got a blocker directly in front of that hole, it's so stiff that, if you're going to run up into it, they're both going in the hole, which is good. The sauce, they're kind of bunch up on each other, but it might work out good for you because if you have a sauce off to the side, it's going to be easier to collect that because it's going to come in, bunch up with it, and take it in. As the shadow, it's so stiff, it might just push it off to the side.
And also with the shadow being as fast as that bag is, sometimes if you're trying to throw a block, you're going to miss. You're going to throw it long, you might end up in the hole or past the hole just because it's such a fast bag. So I struggle putting up blockers with that bag because of it. The fallout's by far the easiest for me to put up a blocker because of how consistent the speeds are and super easy to, push and replace the block and clean up with it. The sauce, it just falls right in the middle for me on that.
But with the shadow being as fast as it is if there's a couple bags laying up there, if you find yourself in a situation where you're missing a little bit, and you accumulated some, I mean, it's so fast, you can take multiple bags in at once with a push, which is real nice.
Yeah, and we probably have some video of it that you'll get to see, but I was telling him before we started this video, one thing I always see with the shadow is if somebody's got a blocker that's just off the hole a little bit, that bag's ability to run past that and just ring around the back of the hole and fall in, I see the shadow do that more than any other bag that we've played with.
So if you want to talk about capable shots, I guess all these bags have the capable shots in their arsenal. Running holes, obviously, airmail, obviously, block, we just talked about that. Cutting, the Fallout X definitely gets the nod for cutting, but I could see the possibility of you cutting the sauce or shadow. And then they also say you can roll and flop them because of the carpet, which I don't know. I mean, that's a little bit debatable because of the all disc fill. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. Definitely wouldn't be for an average thrower. If I had to give the nod, though, again, it would go to the Fallout X because I feel like the herringbone is way more active than what the Sauce or Shadow has with their hybrid carpets.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not good at roll shots, but I would feel that even somebody that's pretty decent would probably struggle to roll the Shadow. And the other two are definitely much more capable to roll. Fallout going to be the best for that just because it's, got that little bit more fill to it than the herringbone.
See, what I really like about the Fallout X2, though, is that, if you're throwing inside arm and you have a little bit of a tilt to your shot, it's going to cut. So if someone tries laying a block right in front of that hole, you're throwing inside arm, you can lay it a little to the left, and it's going to cut and wrap around and catch the back of the hole and fall in. I really like that about the Fallout, that cutting ability. I can't backwards cut, so that does no good if I'm throwing outside my body. But
well, it works too if you don't hit your leg.
Yeah, that is true too. Every
time I try doing that type of shot, I hit.
And it only happens when I don't want it to. I sit here and say that, but I try to do it, and it doesn't work out that way. But it is there. It's possible.
So whole bodiness. Which one wants to go in the hole? It's easily the Sauce. You get that thing anywhere near the hole, you catch just a little bit of corner, it's going in. If it doesn't go in, when somebody just shakes the board a little bit, it's going to fall on the rest of the way. It leads the pack, in my opinion. But that goes right in line with what we were saying earlier, that it's the more forgiving bag. It's, the better bag for beginners. That a lot of times coincides because you don't need to be as precise to get those in the hole. To me, the Fallout X is probably the next, in line as far as which one's gonna, go in the hole. The Shadows, while still hole, friendly, it's the least of the three. That's the more precise bag. It's the more advanced player bag. So you're gonna, have shots. You can hang up holes with the Shadow more so than the other three.
I completely agree with him. The Sauce, you get it anywhere near the hole, it feels like it's gonna fall in. Now we are saying this is disc fill, all disc fill bags. They're not gonna fall in the hole. Like a mixed fill or a bead filled, it seems like all the discs stack on each other, so they're not going to go down. But out of this group right here, the Sauce definitely has the most whole bodiness. Herringbone's popular now. Plus the deadhead fast side, especially if you throw it on that fast side, you can just whip around and they go right down in. And the Shadow, the Shadow are good. They'll go in the hole. Don't get me wrong, but you have to be on target. It's like they don't make up for you being a little bit off. So if you're a beginner thrower or whatever, I wouldn't suggest those. I would probably go with the other two.
My overall rating for the Sauce is I'm going to give it a 3.5. The Fallout X, I'm going to also give a 3.5 really, and the Shadow I'm going to give a 3. So for me, the Sauce is my favorite bag. Again, I'm just an average player, so the forgiveness is what I'm looking for. Overall, my highest rating, I'm actually going to give the Sauce a 4. I'm going to take back the 3.5. I have to separate the two, right? They're so close to each other. It's hard not to. But if I'm playing you right now, I'm grabbing the Sauces.
So we're a little different on there. I gave the Fallout X the 4-bagger. Now, full disclosure, we're rating the bags compared to each other. This is not compared to other bags. I don't know if I played with a 4-bagger yet.
Right.
What I'm saying? But compared to each other, I think I like the Fallout X a little bit more. I gave it a 4-bagger. I gave the Shadow a 3.5-bagger, and I gave the Sauce a 3-bagger. The reason is I always gravitated toward the Fallout X. The Shadow, I played with them a ton. The fact that that fast side needed so much time to break in, I just threw the heck out of them always. I took them to blind draws. I actually played a whole blind draw with them, so I really like them. But you got to be on target. If you're a little off, like I said earlier, you're not going to get it. The Sauce I do like. They might be a little bit too scrunchy for me. I don't know. There's just something about them. I didn't play with them as much as I played with the other two. It's probably my fault. I probably would like them. But honestly, if you're a beginner, if you don't know how you throw or you don't, the Sauce is your choice. I really, truly believe that any beginner should start with the Sauce out of these 3 bags, clearly.
Yeah, whenever I play with family members, stuff like that, players that know how to play the game and are fairly decent but don't play a lot, they'll go through, the bags that I have. Sauce almost every time is the one that they say they like the most.
So the big question is, are these bags worth the cost? At retail price, that's debatable. There is some ways to save money, though. We've been finding them. Buffalo does have sales.
Yep.
They do have discounts on top of their sales. They do have design closeouts on the website, which actually bring them down more. And then now there's this new thing that we're seeing all over Facebook.
Yeah, reps. Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own reps, and
Yeah.
then I think you can talk to their reps. They have like exclusive designs and stuff, and they claim they save you money. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, we haven't bought from them yet, but a lot of people are using them, so it's worth checking out if you're in the market. So shop around. I mean, if you're dying to get these bags right away, or you see a print you absolutely got to have, pay the retail. But if you're just looking for your everyday bag, be patient and save a couple bucks. Do we recommend them? Absolutely. It's Buffalo bags, Buffalo boards. Again, they're a little on the pricier side, but if that's not a factor to you, I don't know how you look anywhere else.
Hey, it's okay to be average. Everybody's average at something. May as well be average at cornhole.
See you guys next time.